Hello, hello. Good morning, all. It is Happy Hump Day, Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. I am Manila Chan. That over there is Ted Rall, fresh off the heels of Deprogram, live at their temporary. Kidding. Okay.
Yep. So everybody who stayed over from Deprogram, the TMI option will remain in place right after. So you can.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you get 2 hours of Ted, sometimes more.
That's true. Yeah. Yesterday, like much longer than that. By the way, Manila, yesterday you complained about not having like the scratchy, like cool, scratchy post nasal voice. You have it today.
I have it today. And you know what it is? And I had to look this up with Grok. But I'm going to gross people out for your early morning. Don't spit out your coffee, okay?
Let's all right. Is this going to involve phlegm?
Yes.
All right. Excellent.
It is the TMI show, after all, the Ted Manila Information Show, TMI show. So I woke up in the middle of the night in a coughing fit, out of the dead of sleep at like 2:30 in the morning, as one does. And so I went to the bathroom, and I'm spitting up all this phlegm, and there were like hard chunks.
Yummy.
Phlegm chunks. I'm going to market that.
Tasty. Hard chunks.
Yeah, hard chunks. I mean, and it's happened to me before, but we didn't have AI before to ask, and it's hard to Google something like that. You have to pilfer through 80,000 websites, right? But you can ask AI. So I asked AI, like, is this normal? What am I coughing up? Pieces of like my lung? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And Grok says that it is a collection of not only hardened mucus it's the end of the life cycle of your infection. First of all.
Oh, so that's good news.
So it's good news. So the infection, if it's no longer like sticky and if it's clumpy, the clumpier it is, the harder it is, the more, it feels like rocks in your mouth.
Right. Yummy.
That it's actually, that's the healing. And it's your body basically consolidating all the germs and yuckies and kind of, smashing it together, condensing it and collecting it. So you cough up in the middle of the night because it's getting collected. You're laying flat. So you're collecting it in your.
That's why, like, if you ever go to historic houses, like house museums, Manila, you'll see, like, you probably have noticed that they always, that the beds, people slept very high, like their head.
Yes.
They didn't sleep flat, right?
I always wondered.
And that's because those houses had those giant fireplaces, and they were very smoky. People always were coughing. People had respiratory issues like crazy from the, just think about it. Have you ever stayed in a house that had a fireplace and the fire doesn't vent, the smoke doesn't vent all that well, and the house all fills up with smoke and you like smell like bacon afterwards, right? Like that's how they lived, a lot of those people. And so
why would you want to raise the bed?
Because
don't you want to be lower away?
Because you want your esophagus and your lungs to drain down. So when you're suffering from a pulmonary thing, the best thing we can do is like sleep with like 2 or 3 pillows, like even if you just want one, but like just sleep high up so it'll drain the gunk out of your system.
Yes, that Grok did advise me that too, but I'm already at the tail end.
Grok gave me some good advice about gnats. I have a huge infestation of fruit flies in my apartment.
Yeah. Well, all that fruit, Ted.
Grok said that the typical cause in a Manhattan apartment is gunk in the drain of the sink, and like, so I was like, so if you boil water like 3 times a day, you just dunk it down the drain. You can't do this with PVC pipes, but with like old metal pipes like we have, and plus it's a rental and I don't care. It's like dump that down there. It takes care of those fuckers. So I've already seen a difference.
Huh. I've got to try. I never asked. So see, these are the uses that Ted and I advise for Grok or other AI.
Yeah.
But don't trust it for like your legal research. We've talked about all of this on air. Like, don't trust it.
I
for
did some legal research
homework.
yesterday about something about the rent code, and it like gave me the wrong part of the law. Yeah.
They all AI. I don't care what platform, it all hallucinates. You have to fact check it. But if you're asking it things like, what does chunky phlegm mean? Or how do I get rid of fruit flies in my apartment?
Yeah.
I would trust some of that. Grok once gave me a good recipe to catch the fruit flies with a bit of apple cider vinegar and a little dash of soap. Yeah. And it worked. And put saran wrap over the top and poke little holes. It worked like a charm.
Yeah, and it gets rid of
Thank
a lot
you, AI.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and it got a lot of them. Thank you, AI. So stuff like that, yes, AI it all the way. But for serious research, it is not ready. So
no.
I don't want people to think Ted and I are giving you mixed signals about how we feel about AI. There's no mixed signals here. For trivial things like this, sure.
Yes, that's correct.
Other stuff, not so much. Don't ask it about your investments. Don't ask it.
No. Like, should you buy crypto? Don't ask that.
Don't. I don't think that's right. I don't think any AI is ready for that. But anyway, on today's show, we are talking about several topics here. First thing we'll talk about is, all these like ICE raids and Trump, sending the National Guard troops to these so-called sanctuary cities. There's enter a third player, Ted. A third player into the ICE game here, or fourth or fifth or 10th player, are the Mexican drug cartels. How, you might wonder? Well, it had been rumored for several months, but now they have intelligence. Trump administration hasn't shown it, but they say they have the intelligence now to show that Mexican drug cartels have put up high dollar figure bounties, a tiered level bounty, if you will. If you can get the final boss like Kristi Noem or Tom Homan, you're talking like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Lower level ICE officials can get you $5-10 grand. And it's becoming
a lower level
like
ICE official is worth like $20.
Well, so that's
just in general.
We're going to talk about
as a person, they're worth like $20.
So that's like the first thing we're going to talk about. So this is like, we'll get you the details on that.
Kristi Noem, by the way, that they're not playing their cards right. The cartels, they got to reach out to the dog community. Big Dog is not happy with Kristi, and they're going to be like, can you imagine if she woke up one day and there were like 30,000 dogs outside of her house?
All the dogs out. Yeah. Well, I was going to say the easiest place you can find Kristi Noem is probably like the plastic surgeon's office for her weekly Botox or whatever.
In front of a television set. Did you check? This is not one of our stories, so we can talk about
counter.
So Kristi Noem, I know you read about this. She recorded one of her propaganda videos for the airport, and and several airports turned it down. They rejected it. They said they didn't want to play it at the TSA because they said she was violating the Hatch Act, which prohibits federal employees using their positions and public funds to do personal politics, which is what they said she was doing. I don't think they're wrong.
I hadn't thought about that, but I just figure, like, do we really want to see that much of Kristi Noem, like, while you're already stuck at the airport?
Oh, I know.
Like, yeah, I mean, you're already like a captive audience. You're forced to watch CNN because CNN buys those TVs, like literally.
I mean, it's like
you're forced to watch it.
She's like a hotter version of everyone's insane ex-wife. Like, she's got the crazy eyes, like, and you're like, oh, I was married to you, but she wasn't as cute as
she will definitely cut your junk off, Ted. She will cut your junk
she's
off.
And she's a Lorraine. She's a total Lorraine Bobbitt type. She's terrifying, and she's totally psychotic.
And she knows how to use guns. It's right here. You can see it.
On dogs.
You can see it. Well,
She
you
killed
know,
her
who knows
puppy.
where it stops. I know. It's in her book. We know. Then we'll also talk about something a little happier, Ted. So it's not all just like, hey, you know, $10 for this ICE official. How about friendships? Like the benefits, the health benefits of friendships. There's a new study out of Cornell that actually proves now on a cellular level that if you have strong, enduring friendships and from different facets and different times and eras of your life and are able to maintain them, that on a cellular level, those friendships, those bonds are actually helping you age slower. So, I mean, Ted, hello, I'm close to 50. No Botox. Huh?
Right.
That's
impressive. They say Asian don't raisin.
Well, Asian don't raisin. So there's part of that, part diet. But based on this Cornell study, I've got friends I still have from
I don't know. I think I look pretty good for 62, and my diet's garbage.
Is it?
Yeah, I totally eat pizza,
imagine,
burgers.
Ted, imagine if you did better with your diet. I eat not a super clean diet, but a fairly clean diet. But imagine if you had a fairly clean diet. How much even better?
Maybe. Or maybe I'd just be fucking miserable like the 2 years when I was vegan. And I was just hungry every fucking day. Or the 2 years that I went off coffee and just drank Senka the whole time and hated my life. I don't even remember those 2 years. I could have been like, you know, I could have been like gay during those 2 years. I don't even know. Maybe I was 2 years. Who knows? I don't even remember anything.
It's worse than being on Ted. Going vegan sounds to me like it would be worse than a heroin binge for 2 years.
It was horrible. No, well, the heroin sounds like it could be a lot of fun.
At least,
I mean, heroin. I never tried it because it sounded like exactly my cup of tea.
Too much fun.
Have you ever tried it?
No, God, those are like the yucky.
Well, because there's needles.
Yeah, there's like drugs that I considered party drugs growing up, and then the gross drugs, and that's one of the gross ones.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's really a gross. It's gross.
I think opioids are generally real trouble.
Things that make your teeth fall out or make make you scratch your skin off.
Yeah, that's not good.
Those are the gross drugs. Those are not the fun party drugs that Manila in her early 20s engaged in partying in Vegas and Hollywood.
I'm also against inorganic drugs because, like, I've heard
there's that too.
I have an inordinately high number of druggy friends, and like I had
me too.
I had a friend who told me, like,
some are still alive.
For example, she had a really bad ex situation. In fact, she almost died. This happened in Oakland. She went to a rave. It was in the paper, and like 10 people died from bad ex at this rave. You remember this story? It was back in the 90s. She was there. She took that same batch. She almost died too. She was like one of the injured people. And And anyway, years later, she's at a job interview, and the guy or the lady who's interviewing her, I don't remember what gender they were, the person's head shrunk down to the size of a pin.
Well,
yeah, I mean, little flashback situation. Because what happens with inorganic drugs is that the globules stick to your central nervous system, and then literally you just suddenly it just comes out randomly, like bloop, and there you are, flying the plane, and suddenly, whoa!
Ted, I told you, it took me years to stop seeing the crosswalk man walking next to my car. You know, the man from the
sign.
Black figure on the yellow diamond sign of the man, like that shows you like, hey, pedestrian crossing soon.
At least you didn't see the old timey schoolboy with the book
no,
strap over his shoulder. Mm-hmm.
I used to see the pedestrian crossing, basically the same shape from the crosswalks, right? Mm-hmm. Like I used to for years until it was totally out. Occasionally I'd be stuck in traffic and I'd look over and go, oh my God.
You didn't see a leaping stag?
No. So it was, for me, it was the crosswalk man. But you're right. It does stick to your central nervous system and you hallucinate those things, even if you hadn't touched it for
20 years later. Yeah.
But I don't have those hallucinations anymore.
That's terrifying.
It wasn't terrifying. It's just weird. It's just, because you're sober and you know that's not what you're seeing, but you're still seeing it.
Right.
Like you can't help, you see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it wasn't there. That's the difference. But anyway, back to the whole thing about health. The whole friendship thing is actually so important. It's so good for good aging.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good. I think that's so good. And then another controversy out of not the official GOP this time, Ted. This is what our thumbnail is about. I don't know if it's like a Nick Fuentes thing. I don't know if that because that's who's, like now that Charlie Kirk has been murdered, right? I called him like the Disney version of the young Republicans, right? I mean, they called him all kinds of horrible things when he died. That's fine, whatever. But, in contrast to like Nick Fuentes, he was the Disney prince of the Republican Party.
And now he's the Jesus of the Republican Party.
Oh,
he's going to have statues of himself all over.
I know.
Literally, these right wingers on X are saying, "It's been a month since Charlie died. I think about him every day." I'm like, no, you don't. That's like a lie.
Oh, well,
you're just, except you're thinking about how to monetize him. That's what you're really doing.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing that's leaking out now is that in this past month, it's kind of created a vacuum, I think, for leadership in Gen Z Republican dynamics. And there's this new leaked chat thread that of like different, like, the Young Republicans Club and this chapter and that chapter or whatever. And there's these young, I'm going to call them boys because they're like barely college age.
Well,
they're
ladies
boys
too in the group, right?
Or they're ladies in the group. I missed that part. But I saw they're young guys. Like,
well, they're literally members. They're the top leadership of the Young Republicans, right? So
yeah, it's lame. They're young. They're young enough to be our children, obviously, Ted. So they're young kids, and they're saying stupid things.
Yep.
Using the two taboo N words. One regarding Black people, and the other one regarding a certain Austrian leader.
Oh, right. Addie.
And how apparently this is like the tone of Gen Z Republicans. So we'll talk about we'll talk about that.
I think that's the tone
and then
of
last
Gen
but not
Zers,
least,
period.
Maybe. Last but not least, of course, we're going to talk about Halloween season, Ted. I bet you and Robbie did not know there's a whole industry for cooking with the dead.
I did not know this.
Yeah. There's a new cookbook that's out that I thought was like a big WTF. How would you even think of like, how do you even stumble across this to turn it into a book?
It's actually it's very cool.
I mean, yes.
It's very American. It's very Americana. It's very esoteric.
Super weird. It is esoteric, but perfect for Halloween. Cooking with the dead. By that, I mean, there are people throughout the course of like the last 200 years in America that when they die, they don't want a Bible verse on their headstone. Nope. They don't want, here lies Joanne, loving wife and mother, none of that. It's like Joanne's meatloaf recipe.
in lieu of or in addition to the usual born and died.
Yeah. Like apparently this is the thing that Ted, you and I did not know about.
No.
And it's been going on for like 100 years.
Manila, do you like old cemeteries? I do.
I do.
I always like to walk through them. And,
I
used to do that as a teenager, where you rub the gravestones and stuff and
rub them.
Yeah. You like take charcoal and on a big piece of paper and then you have like a copy of it. Right.
Oh, no, I've never
Maybe that's
an
old timey thing to do.
No, I've never done that. Why would you want that?
Well, then you can look at it later. And I guess the thing is, you never do.
Robbie says he's done that.
You never do, but
yeah. So it's just something you do. It's just something you did.
It's
okay.
Like
no,
I've
never
done that. Your teacher tells you to do, and it's like a class. It was like, yeah, that's how I learned it.
Oh, Robbie says it's because the headstones fade. Anyway, I'm going to pop Robbie in real quick before we actually get into the news topics, Robbie, happy anniversary to you and the missus. I know it was yesterday. But you called her, obviously she's your ride or die chick, almost 20 years together, 19 years married, what, 20 years together?
Been together 23 and married for 19. I've only ever dated 3 women in my life, and number 3 is the one that I married.
Any guys?
No, I'm not a queer.
Okay. But you called her, she's your ride or die chick.
Yep.
She rides shotgun with you.
Yep.
So here's my random factoid of the day, or question to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Or anybody out there listening. Give the audience a chance to weigh in, Robbie, and you can put their answers up across the top.
By the way, I think we should figure out how to take calls. I would love to do that.
I wish that would be so much fun.
There's a way. I grokked this. There is a way.
We could use the Discord server that I have and just pipe everything through it. So just let me know when you want to do it, and
that
that's
people
how we
can
make it work.
Call?
Yeah.
Basically, people would just go.
I couldn't get the Rumble room up yesterday. Okay.
Oh, I know. I was watching. It was freaking hilarious. It was just like, my God, without Robbie, without y'all's inbred redneck, the show's gonna die a painful death.
I made like 5 Rumble rooms.
Everything was insane.
Okay, so here's my question. Okay. Where does the term, listeners, weigh in? Where does the term riding shotgun originate from? Riding shotgun. Don't Google it. Don't look. You two stare at the camera. Get your fingers out of it.
I'm assuming it's bank robbers, right? Like the
that's your guess.
The person who drives the car has to drive, and then the other bank robber in the front seat has to shoot at the cops.
Don't you cheat, Robbie? Don't you cheat?
No,
where does riding shotgun come from?
No, I can answer this question. There's some charioteers from ancient Egypt, because you'd have a driver, and then you have an archer that stood to the right of the driver, and so that's where the term riding shotgun comes from. Honest to God, that's where it comes, because you have one person driving, and then the other person's actually doing the fighting. That's where it comes from.
Close, very close. But according to Reader's Digest, the Wild West, the origins. This saying comes from the stagecoach era, says a 19th century historian, that says
one person drives the horse, the other one
drives the horse. The stagecoach driver held the reins, and next to him rode an armed guard with a shotgun to ward off robbers and other hostile attackers. One guy would control the horses. One guy would literally hold a gun, be on the lookout for an attack. And that's true and verified, says this particular historian. And it was made famous in the 1954 movie called Riding Shotgun.
Oh, okay.
Riding Shotgun. So it became popularized in the 1950s from Randolph
from zillions
Scott
of westerns,
Western.
Right?
A Western.
God,
yeah.
I love westerns. I miss westerns a lot.
That's fake news. That's fake news. The Egyptians and the Assyrians are the ones that invented riding shotgun.
But they didn't have shotguns, Robbie, so the term shotgun could not exist.
They used the concept is the same.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about the actual term riding shotgun. So it came from the 1950s from
fake news.
Old West movies. So there you go.
That's fake news.
So there you go. But the idea is the same. Is yes, like it's your most trusted companion that's riding next to you as in your getaway vehicle.
Of course.
So Ted, you were on the right trail. Robbie's got the super history. But that was it.
No, if y'all ever want, it's dead serious. If y'all ever want to go to an old cemetery, that's really fun. The St. Michael Cemetery in Pensacola. Like there's Spanish and French governors that are buried there. From in Florida was a European colony. The cemetery started back in the 1500s, and so that's how you do the rubbing. So you get wax paper with charcoal, and then because the headstones they wear over time, and so that way you're able to go in and you're able just to go in and get it. And my favorite president, Andrew Jackson, Plaza de Ferdinand is right there next to the cemetery. He has a bust. And right there, the bust is where the Spanish governor surrendered Florida to him in defiance of the United States government.
Huh. In Pensacola?
Pensacola was.
There's a lot of cool history in Florida.
Yeah, Pensacola was also the capital of the short-lived Republic of Florida, otherwise known as the Contra Republic. And
I think a lot of people want it to become its own republic. Yeah.
Well, originally it was. That's where the Bonnie Blue flag comes from. That wasn't the flag of Texas. That was the flag of the Republic of Florida. But the Texans, like everything else, stole every good thing and took it.
Good guesses from the listeners in the Rumble room that I'm seeing, like Rats and Rop, the Wild West, Bonnie and Clyde. That's it. That's a good guess.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
not a good
right.
guess.
Yeah.
It's an accurate. I mean, they get it.
Almost totally spot on. Adrian Robbers. Yep. Same. Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah. All right. So let's get into some of we'll breeze through these topics real quick, Ted. I think.
Okay.
Let's hit Jaws.
All right. All right, U.S. officials say that Mexican criminal networks have placed cash bounties against federal immigration officers. The Department of Homeland Security has revealed that cartels and other criminal groups have launched a tiered bounty system. The scheme offers payments for different levels of threat, a few $1,000s for identifying or surveilling agents, mid-range sums for kidnappings or assaults, and tens of thousands of dollars for targeting ICE and Border Patrol. The bounty program reportedly originates in Mexico, with funds and orders routed through criminal intermediaries and local gangs. Authorities say these organizations are recruited to locate agents in the U.S., track their movements, and even involve family members in targeting plans. According to law enforcement, the rewards are specific. ID agents and locations, and you might get a few $1,000s. Kidnapping or assault gets more. Assassinations or high-level targets could be worth as much as $50,000. As a response, federal officers around the U.S. are boosting defenses, reevaluating security around personnel, coordinating with local law enforcement to guard agents at home and work. Officials say the intel comes with disturbing details. Reports of rooftop watchers surveilling agents, spotters shadowing commutes, and attempts to recruit gangs for staged attacks. In some regions, investigations have led to arrests tied to solicitation or planning of violence against agents. Law enforcement is treating these as among the most severe internal threats to the U.S. and its law enforcement officers in years. D.C. is pushing back. The White House and Homeland Security have publicly affirmed protective measures and instructed agents to limit exposure of personal information. At the same time, the Trump administration has targeted suspected political and criminal enablers abroad, revoking visas and cutting ties with foreign actors believed to support cartel operations. For field agents, the consequences are added escorts, stricter protocols, hardened entry points. Civil liberties advocates have raised concerns about increased surveillance and militarization in local neighborhoods, urging balance so that communities aren't unduly swept up in federal law enforcement. The message is stark. The threat is real, ongoing, and grave. Investigations continue with a mission to dismantle the infrastructure that would pay for violence against U.S. officers and to protect those serving on the front lines. Manila, I call bullshit on this story.
I know Robbie's got thoughts. I know he's got.
Put him in.
We say ICE, immigration. We say migrants. It's like you summon the genie. Let me go.
Robbie.
So okay, look.
I call bullshit. I think this is all a load of hooey and crap.
They say that they have the Trump admin. Kristi Noem says this is real. They have the evidence. Of
course she does.
I don't know.
In her mind.
They haven't shown us. It's I don't feel like it's too far-fetched to imagine that it is real. However, I would like to see the evidence. I don't think it's real. Show me the evidence. Like, does it have, like, is she going to present us one of these Wild West photos that says, like, reward, and her picture in the middle, like $10,000 for Kristi Noem's, Botoxed head? Or, like, is that, like, show it to me, then I'll believe you.
Maybe.
But it's not unheard of that cartels would have these internal bounties. But remember,
that's true.
The government has, I don't care what administration, the government, how many times have lied to us about the Russians? Remember the Russians putting bounties up
they lie all the time
on American soldiers? Like, that never freaking happened. The Russians never like
happened.
in Syria, like that never happened.
Or in Afghanistan, right? That just never happened.
Oh, right. Afghanistan. So none of it ever happened. Afghanistan, Syria, they keep saying, oh, the Russians put up bounties for U.S. soldiers as part of the Russia hoax. And it's now proven like that's all bunk. It's all hooey. So maybe this is all hooey too.
I don't believe it.
It's garbage. And like here, the thing is, it reeks of like law enforcement says, cartels say there's no names, there's no sourcing. They don't tell us how they know this. They don't say like, oh, we got this leak. But here's the thing. The real reason I don't think it's possibly true is this. Why on earth would the cartels hate ICE? They don't care about ICE. ICE isn't fucking with them. ICE is why would they not go after the DEA? Right? I mean, the cartels they're not like using illegal immigrants in Chicago to smuggle shit across the border. They're far more sophisticated than that. So I don't think, I mean, this is to make us think that there's a link between the cartels and illegal immigration, which at most is extremely tenuous. The cartels don't give a shit about ICE. ICE isn't bugging them at
Trump
all.
1.0. Trump 1.0, remember, famously said that, they're like all the migrants are the drug mules. Remember he said that he was that they've got, legs like cantaloupes.
The cartels are too smart for that. The cartels aren't going to trust random idiots to
they're just dragging kilos of cocaine on their backs as they run.
They're going to give them $100,000 worth of drugs. No, they're not. Because they're worried about it being stolen, right? This is valuable merchandise.
So then I'm glad to hear that the two of you deny the fact that the cartels are involved in human trafficking. I'm sure the people who are being trafficked, that's great news for them.
Sure.
Well, that's your tie-in, right?
But this whole thing is saying that the cartels have a bounty on them. The Trump administration, as well as the Obama administration, had that hooey story about the Russians putting bounties on American soldiers. So to me, this smells of the same thing.
Me too.
No, of course. I mean, that's pure BS. I mean, anyone who believes that doesn't have a working head. I mean, that's a lie. I mean, the same administration that had the Epstein files on Pam Bondi's desk, and oops, they're gone. Oh my God, we can't find them. But they're somehow able to find bounties from Mexican drug cartels. Want to take out ICE officers? No, that's just
with no evidence at all. It's not even an anonymous quote like a high-ranking Mexican official says. Like,
no, it's
nothing.
stupid. No, I'm going to use the word that I'm trying to retake that a lot of people don't like. It's retarded. It's a stupid and retarded thing to say. 100%. I mean,
All right, so I guess nobody here believes the bounties. But I mean,
I'm really surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised that we all agree on this point.
Yeah, it's evidence-free.
I don't believe anything that our government says. I believe in nothing that they say.
That far. But I don't think. I believe things, but the thing is, they have to source it. I mean, I don't believe I don't believe someone that the government. If the government says that, like, the sun rises in the east, I'm going to check it out. I mean, like, maybe,
I'll go look.
I mean, it may be true. They say some things that are true.
Well, you got to remember, they said that the Russian bounties they were sourced by anonymous sources. Ted, I mean, it was. I mean, trust them. You got to trust them. Are you a conspiracy theorist? Are you a conspiracy theorist that you're going to say that the government will lie to you?
Well, and Hillary Clinton did produce the Steele dossier proof.
I also don't forget the laptop from hell. I mean, that was Russian disinformation. That was a lie. We had letters from John Brennan and all these other spooks from the CIA saying that we know for 100% fact that this is a lie. We also know that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking women, but to no customers at all. Trust us,
girls.
Yeah,
but yeah. So this is the first. We all unanimously agree that ICE bounties is a load of shit.
No, I mean, ICE needs to step up their game. They need to be going in with drag nets and just doing mass deportations. And I can make the argument for it that for some reason the Trump administration that can't make. And I've been thinking about this over my vacation. Now, Kizzy's just like, Robbie, what are you thinking about? So let me tell you. And it's Trump, the Trump administration, they do such a terrible job of messaging. And here's the case. Back in the 50s, when Dwight Eisenhower sent the 101st Airborne to Little Rock, Arkansas to enforce a federal ruling from the Supreme Court that was applauded.
Sure.
He sent the
Kennedy did the
101st
same thing.
Airborne to an American state, to an American city, to a high school. And then John F.
Kennedy did the same thing.
And Kennedy did the same thing to Ole Miss. And every good liberal just saw clapping like this. That's
Right, for integration. This is all about integration. That's what this is like what Robbie's talking about. Why,
of course,
US presidents have before sent the National Guard into literally like college campuses where people actually died, were shot dead, like under Kennedy's at Ole Miss. At least like half a dozen students were shot dead by armed National Guardsmen with live rounds. Because this was a whole, it was the era of integration, and
but now Trump
weren't letting black students in.
But now Trump, he's doing the exact same thing. He's sending fat, middle-aged Texas National Guardsmen, like 300 of them, to Chicago to do what? But all of a sudden, oh my God, you can't do that. No American president has ever sent troops to an American city to enforce the law. Give me a fucking break.
Well, that argument is false.
The problem is that they're not enforcing the law, Robbie. That's the problem.
Well, they should be, and that's the point I'm making.
I mean, you can't really enforce the law illegally, and that's what they're doing. Their methods are illegal, and so
including bombing another speedboat in the Caribbean last night.
I'm not talking about the Caribbean
thing.
That's an entirely different thing. I agree.
These are all illegal modes of trying to achieve whatever
If you're here illegal, if you're here illegally. Because Congress passed a law saying we do have borders, you have the immigration laws. These people should not be here. The first and foremost function of a government is to decide who gets to stay and who doesn't. I mean, that is foundational. If you're here illegally, you're violating the law. That means you send law enforcement in, you round them up, and you throw them out. That is a basic function of law enforcement.
Obviously agree, but I mean, there's a way to do it, and like they have to. It's kind of like. If you drive too fast, you're breaking the law and you have to be stopped. But if you drive, they can't like use a drone to blow up your car. You were speeding, you were breaking the law, but the law doesn't say that it's punishable by death.
Listen, I'm not advocating for the mass slaughter of migrants. I am advocating for the mass deportation. Now, drug dealers, Congress should pass a law saying if you do it, just go Chinese style or Malaysian style, put a bullet in your head, call it a day, save everyone a ton of money, and that's how you win the war on drugs. But that's a different issue altogether. I'm talking about illegal immigration.
Law.
Of course, then that's not what I would do if I was president before I got assassinated. I would go. That's the argument that I would make. So, hey. Of course I would be.
You so would be.
Oh, I know it would be, because both parties would hate me. And you know what? I would die a martyr. I would make Charlie Kirk look like a wimp, because frankly he was. If you want a real right winger, I'm right here.
Oh my God. Well, okay. So that's the first story. Okay, Robbie, I'm gonna send you to the back. We're gonna do the health story. So we know how Robbie feels about immigration. We know that this story wasn't about immigration. It was about Kristi Noem saying they want her pretty little head.
They want her head on a stick.
And we all say it's hooey. We all agree.
Yeah, I mean, Kristi Noem, quit lying. Cut the shit. You have no credibility.
You think it's her playing victim? Is that what that is? You think she's like,
I think honestly, I think this is about what all governments do. Governments try to justify their behavior with outlandish plots. They want the American people to think, or at least they want the right wingers to think, that they're besieged and that evil brown people are coming to get them and are going to kill them, and that they have to turn to the Trump
Mexican
administration
cartels.
and to ICE. Homeland Security is protecting you from the Mexican cartels. I mean, it's like, do you ever see Fahrenheit 9/11? The Michael Moore movie about the war on terror. And he goes to some shitty little town, I forget where, but in the middle of nowhere, right? Like rural South Carolina. And it's like the terror, and he's talking to people like, the terrorists, they're going to come here. And he's like, they're going to come here in this little town? Yeah, they're coming here. They're going to turn us all into Muslims. And it's like, literally, that's what they want. They want to make this they want to spread the fear, like fear is very contagious and it is very retarded. But
yeah, well, it's
yeah.
it's an odd story to me, but this is what they're propagating this week, is that it's poor ICE officials, poor
fear is
poor
used
Tom
is a
Homan,
tool of manipulation. That's what it is. It reminds
poor
me
Tom
after
Homan,
9/11.
poor Kristi Noem.
I had a friend, he was married to this evil woman, and they lived in New York, and they were like, after 9/11, and she just hated New York anyway, and she wanted to go live next door to her mom in Florida. So
Oh,
after 9/11, he calls me, he goes, "Oh, we're leaving." I go, "What for? Why?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, because we're afraid of another attack." And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not going to happen again. And you don't live anywhere near ground zero. And he's like, "No, we have to leave." So
well,
basically, she just manipulated him with the fear of another attack into moving to Florida. Irony alert: they moved to Naples, Florida. The next week, there's an anthrax attack in Naples,
oh my
Florida.
God.
And
So,
while I'm on the phone with him, they're screaming in the background as a gator is like coming toward their front door. So I'm like,
there's that. Remember, the Gators
I'm like,
today
that shit
said
doesn't
they know how
happen
to
in
open
Manhattan.
doors.
It doesn't.
The Gators today know how to open your porch door. We've seen the videos.
Modern gators.
Modern Gators I think they're coming with opposable thumbs now. That's how they're being born now. That's not good.
Yeah,
now,
I'm against that.
Speaking of like kind of evolution, so us humans, right? Here's your health topic for the day.
Excellent.
So from Cornell, the cumulative effect of social advantages across a lifetime, from parental warmth in childhood to friendship, community engagement, and religious support in adulthood, may slow the biological processes of aging itself. These social advantages appear to set back so-called epigenetic clocks, such as a person's biological age measured by analyzing DNA methylation patterns is younger than their chronological age. The research, which appeared in the October issue of the journal Brain, Behavior, and Immunity Health, drew on data from more than 2,100 adults living in the long-running Midlife in the United States study, also known as the MIDAS study. I like that. The MIDAS study. The author, Anthony Ong, psychology professor and director of the Human Health Labs in the College of Human Ecology, and other fellow researchers found that people with higher levels of what they called cumulative social advantage showed slower epigenetic aging and lower levels of chronic inflammation. Quote, "This paper built on the foundational study we published last year showing how cumulative social advantage relates to positive health outcomes. This new study digs deeper into the same data to understand the biological mechanisms, essentially how social connections get under our skin to affect aging at the molecular level." So the study focused on so-called epigenetic clocks, molecular signatures that estimate your pace of biological aging. Two in particular, what they call grim age and the Dunedin pace, are considered especially predictive of morbidity and mortality. Adults with stronger, more sustained social networks showed significantly younger profiles on both clocks. Quote, "Cumulative social advantage is really about the depth and breadth of your social connections over a lifetime. We looked at 4 key areas: the warmth and support you received from your parents growing up, how connected you feel to your community and neighborhood, your involvement in religious or faith-based communities, and ongoing emotional support from friends and family." What's striking is the cumulative effect. These social resources build on each other over time. It's not just about having friends today, it's about how your social connections have grown and deepened throughout your lifetime. That accumulation shapes your health trajectory in measurable ways. So this doesn't mean a single friendship or volunteer stint can turn back the biological clock, but the authors, including a professor at Stony Brook and another professor at Harvard, suggest that the depth and consistency of social connection built across decades and different spheres of life actually matter profoundly. The study adds weight to the growing view that social life is not just a matter of happiness or stress relief, but a core determinant of physiological health. Quote, think of social connections like a retirement account, Professor Ong says. The earlier you start investing and the more consistently you contribute, the greater your returns. Our study shows those returns aren't just emotional, they're biological. People with richer, more sustained social connections literally age more slowly at the cellular level. Aging well means both staying healthy and staying connected. They are inseparable. So, Ted, that is freaking fascinating to me that they can actually see this now at a molecular level. It's provable. I mean, because we always knew from the psychological perspective, right, that obviously people that go to church, people that have these strong fabrics.
The church thing's been very well documented.
Yeah, very well documented.
It's very frustrating to me because I don't want to go to church, but I would like to live longer.
Yeah, me too. I'm not a big, like organized religion person. I have my faith, but I'm not into like the whole organized part.
I'm more into a disheveled religion. Like a disorganized,
like an online
sloppy religion, like where hey, where are the hosts? Oh, where do you put those?
I don't know. They'll be here. They're 20 minutes late. The pastor's 20 minutes late. Yeah. I mean, they'll get here whenever, I guess. Like, dude, chill. But still, we've known that. That's been established for decades. But now science is actually like that's what was fascinating to me, Ted, was these scientists can actually see like in our genetics now, like it's in our DNA. It's actually changing the pace at which we're aging. These things that we once only thought were a social level, an emotional bond, is actually having a physiological effect. And, not to brag, but I think I'm a pretty decent person, right? Like I don't talk shit on people. I just don't generally have bad things to say about
that's true.
People I know.
I've never known you to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a backstabber. I've never stolen a boyfriend. I'm not one of those girls. Like I deliberately, I kind of let these girls in college, let them rush me during rush week so they can spoil me. And then they found out I didn't even go to their college. But I didn't want, I wouldn't want to be in a.
So you are a grifter.
Anyway. I was like, what is this rush thing? I was 18. I don't know. But I was like, you're giving me free beer and like giving me blouses and stuff. I was like, this is cool. And then I was like, oh yeah.
They give you free, they give you clothes?
Well, back then they want you to be a sorority sister.
I want free clothes.
I let them,
how come I can't have free clothes?
I mean, you're an 18-year-old poor kid and you're like, yeah, if you want to give me some clothes, like, sure, I'll take a blouse. But it was, again, that was me just learning this new dynamic of friendships in college. But anyway, my point is I'm one of these people that if I call you a friend, like I got your back. Like I will ride shotgun.
I know that's true. That is true. I can vouch for you here.
I will have your back and I will go to the fucking mat. And I have friends that I have known since literally kindergarten. And I'm in my mid-40s. I have friends that I keep in touch with from every phase of life. There's a handful of people.
The picture. You're awesome.
And I pick up along the way.
So what's your point?
It's not that. It's that. But that's just who I am, like naturally. And I used to always think that maybe I was like aging well, because I'm totally patting myself on the back here. But I thought, okay, I'm Asian. I figured I'm Asian. Like, okay, that's a leg up. Maybe part dietary, maybe just regular Asian genetics. I don't know. But now that this study is out, and we talked about this yesterday, Ted. Ugly on the inside, ugly on the outside.
I'm calling a little bit of bullshit on this. Manila, you got cancer. You got cancer. I mean, I didn't get cancer. Not by the way, I'm a loyal friend. I'm a very loyal friend too. But you know what I mean? Like
that doesn't make me. Did it age me?
Well, I mean, cancer isn't good for you.
About aging. No, but I was caught at stage 0. I think that is more environmental because my BRCA tests were both negative on both tests. So it had to be, that leads me to believe it was like environmental exposure. However, going back to this showing on a cellular
maybe it's your
level,
lack of religiosity
aging,
that caused the cancer.
could be that.
That could be God smiting you.
It could be like telling me, bitch, get back to church.
Yeah.
Because really, I haven't been like a practicing Catholic since like I was 18. So, so there's that. But
that's funny. Me too. 18.
Yeah, I just decided like not going to, not really.
I'll tell you. I mean, I don't talk about this because it's very painful. But my girlfriend died, and in a car accident, and I went to the chapel on campus to pray because I didn't know what else to do. And then I realized while I was there that there was no one who could hear me.
That's how it felt for you?
Yeah, it was literally like, it felt like the number you have reached, GOD.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Yeah.
I
remember I even said it to myself, like at a whisper out loud. I was like, you're really not there, are you?
See, it didn't feel like that for me. When I rediscovered God, it was a few years after my dad had died, and then my mom was in a coma from her ruptured neuroaneurysm, and I was downstairs in the hospital, in the chapel, doing something I hadn't done since I was like 18 or 19, and at this point I was like 30, 31, I think, and I prayed, and I felt like something come over me. This is a truncated story. But anyway, my mom had been in a coma for like 2 months at that point. And I went upstairs because I just gave up. I just completely gave up. I went upstairs and no fucking joke, within minutes of me returning to her room, she's in ICU for like, at this point, like 6 or 7 weeks. She started fluttering. Her eyes started, I mean, she's fine now. Like it's literally a miracle. But that was what brought me back to having even any semblance of faith. I'm still not back into the whole organized part of it, the organized religion, but having any faith, like that was the first time in years from 18 to 31 that, I felt like I wasn't alone. So then from then on, it was like, oh, I think I believe again. But anyway, I think that had something to do with it. I think cancer just happens. I don't think the cancer has anything to do with the aging. This whole thing, I've got other telltale markers of whether or not somebody's aging well. And I think this is one of them. But again, people that are like shitty human beings that are fucking misers and just shitty, miserable people, they die old and alone for a reason. And they don't tend to live to be, like Larry King, right? Like 87 years old and literally like,
this is what I wrote.
Going 100 miles a minute until the day you die. Like, literally, Larry was on the show with me 3 days before he died. Larry was on air with me like 2 or 3 days. And Larry King was somebody that, 86, 87 is a ripe old age.
Sure.
Right? Ripe old age. I mean, your dad, like, I don't know, he's
97.
97.
97 years old. I mean, think about it.
Gotta be doing something right.
He was born when Calvin Coolidge was president of the United States. He was born
97.
when he was born before any human being in the United States had a television set. He was born the year that the Model A was introduced. Right?
It's hard for me to fathom because
he was born before any phone had a dial on it. You crank it. Yeah.
Look, that's hard for me to fathom because Larry was like 86 or 87. And sure, he's old enough to be my...
He was born before passenger aviation.
Larry was, yes, my colleague, but he was potentially the oldest colleague I've ever had so far in my professional life. Mm-hmm. And yes, he was old enough to be my granddad, but he was also my friend and colleague, right? So I used to be able to joke with him. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like you're like this beloved media figure that everybody loves you. You're like the guy that everybody, it's like a statutory thing. If you're going to be a famous person, you have to be interviewed by Larry King. You just can't. Like it's like, it was like statutory in Hollywood. You got to talk to Larry King or you're nobody, right?
True.
And everybody, like, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about Larry King.
Yeah, no one's ever like, Larry King's a dick.
Right.
I will say that, I mean, the criticism was that his interviews were softball
or sure. But as a person, I've never heard anybody ever say anything bad about Larry King. He was a well-liked man, right? Like all across the board, just everybody loved him. And I think, and he and I talked about this, and he joked about, he used to tell me that was his key to longevity was just loving people and loving what you do and just enjoying life. You know, just don't hate. That was
Nothing
like
wrong with that.
My old pal Larry, that he would tell me, take some advice from your old pal Larry Manila. You know, I'm like, oh, Larry, like, but then he also told me to get the vaccine, and I was like, oh, Larry.
Well,
we'll talk about that off air.
Did you never get it?
No.
Ever?
Larry
you never got any. You never got any of them?
No. Larry asked me on air, and I did not want to cause controversy.
Sure.
Because at the time it was so taboo to talk about.
Yeah. Well, it still is. Like we have to be careful. We have to be careful of what YouTube would have to say. Well,
Larry surprised me with just a blunt question. Like, he's like, yeah, I just got the vaccine. Manila, have you gotten the vaccine? And I was like,
he probably wanted you to, right?
Yeah, he did. And I was like, no, I'd be kind of beating around the bush. And he was like, Manila, do your old pal Larry a favor. Get the vaccine. And I'm like,
it's hard to say no to someone like that.
And I'm like, oh. I said, Larry.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Scary Girl is saying that we should do a Rumble Premium. Clovis a life. I'm actually planning to do that. I'm going to do a Clovis live cam situation.
We actually punted that idea around.
No, I am going to do that. I'll have to do that solo. I figured out how to do it logistically.
You did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to StreamYard it to my phone, and then and then I'll record it via StreamYard. I'll be a guest on my own StreamYard. Do you see what I'm saying?
But how is the camera going to follow Clovis around?
It's portable. It's my phone.
But you're going to follow him around? You're not going to
Yes. Cat cam. In the litter box. Every place. I'm going to violate his privacy like I'm the NSA.
How possibly follow him around with your camera?
What do you mean? Obviously, you never had a cat? You can follow a cat around with your camera.
Yeah, but you're going to, for like an hour, you're going to just walk around with the phone pointing at him?
There's these influencers who are on live. They're like doing Twitch for 7 hours a fucking day. I can follow the cat.
But they're sitting down. Like, how do you're going to have to hold the camera and point it at Clovis for an hour.
Well, I mean, I can also give him a break and, I got this all figured out. I'm going to do it.
I'm down to give Clovis an hour just to see.
I know what we're both afraid of here. That it's going to blow up the channel. That it's going to crash the server.
It's going to be more popular.
He's going to have hundreds of millions of views.
He's going to get all the views and all the clicks, and we're like, well, shit. I guess we're put out of work.
We should just go and kill ourselves now.
Clovis.
We should just go jump off a bridge.
No, people just want a cat cam.
Yeah. Like Robbie said, it's like our test streams.
It's true.
When we do our test streams, they're crazy. They're off the charts.
You guys are such jerks out there. we do our test streams trying to learn how to use new equipment. And we get thousands of viewers.
True. Look at these idiots.
Looking how do we do this? Hey, if you press this button, what happens? Oops, that's not it. And we're getting thousands of clicks for that.
So great.
when it's just like half the time it's like the tops of our heads and like our nostrils like this, like going like what's this?
Totally. You're 100% right.
And Clovis is gonna do better. Like our non-shows.
He's gonna wipe the floor with our stupid asses. You know,
this is so bad. Do you know how popular, Ted, the panda cam at the National Zoo?
I can imagine. All those animal cams, right? Like the eagle cam in the eagle's nest and all that shit.
Oh yeah, the California condors. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember the condor. I was watching the condor.
Millions and millions of people. Like, who are you people that are sitting there watching a condor nest for eggs to hatch?
And meanwhile, Manila and I are like working hard, reading the news, preparing.
Right, we gotta research this. Like, Trump's bombing some Venezuelan guys on a boat again. Like,
trying to get our hair right. It's like, yeah.
Just
all goes to show.
Aim your camera at an animal.
Yeah, that's it.
Over.
Yeah.
Aim your camera at an animal. Speaking of which, while we're talking about that, Robbie, do we have an ad we have to get to? Oh, we do. We do. Okay. So we should, you know what? When you talk about animals, I think, and I'm testing this for the algorithm, we're talking about cat cams, panda cams, condor cams. I bet the more animals I point out, I bet we will get like a cat food product or like one of those pet subscription ads.
Oh yeah.
Because the algorithms, it knows what you're talking about.
And by the way, if you ever go, Manila, do you ever go to a Petco ever? Like if you go to the cat section, there's an incredible number of products with Russian blues on the cover. I mean,
because they're pretty cats.
Russian blue is like a standard, like sort of commercial cat. And I think it's like Clovis is obviously ready for prime time. It's time to step it up.
Is he allowed to exist
Hollywood
again?
Pardon?
Is he allowed to exist because he's Russian? Like, can he participate in?
He's no longer. Well, yeah. Now that
Trump's in office,
Gaza has completely knocked Ukraine out of the headlines. No one gives a shit of you.
Right? Are Russian blues allowed to be in cat competitions now?
Now they're Palestinian blues.
I see. All right, we got our ad.
With that. All right, folks. Quick reality check. The dollar's tanking, inflation still eating away your savings, and Wall Street, it's a casino rigged for the elites. That's why you should trust My Gold Guy. Go to mygoldguy.com and grab your free gold and silver guide. It's packed with real no BS info on how to protect your wealth with physical precious metals, not digital promises or paper IOUs. And here's the best part. When you connect with Ira Bersatsky, he's not a pushy salesman. There's zero pressure. He'll simply answer your questions and help you make the decision that's right for you. Plus, Ira's got some of the best rates in the entire industry. So don't wait for the next economic shock to wipe out your portfolio. Head to mygoldguy.com right now. Fill out the quick form and get your free gold and silver guide today. Protect your savings before it's too late.
Okay. I thought for sure we were going to get like a pet food product. Gold.
Yeah.
All right. The next story is yours, Ted. This is the not Russian, the GOP story.
Yes, it is. Okay. In a story stirring controversy, private messages among young GOP club members have surfaced, exposing off-color remarks, political scheming, and internal tension within the party's ranks. According to the sources, a private chat thread on Telegram among young Republican club members revealed a mix of crude language, bold political strategizing, and occasional jabs at fellow party figures. The messages exposed generational friction, ambition, and a willingness to speak bluntly behind closed screens. A smattering of the N-word used over 250 times. I don't know if 250 times is a smattering. I would say that's a generous dollop. Jokes about being Nazis, gas chambers, no minority group was safe. Among the exchanges were insults aimed at certain elected Republicans, mockery of rivals, and provocative comments on party direction. Some members questioned candidate appeals and even discussed infiltration of conservative spaces. The tone was raw, a reminder that behind every polished public image lies candid private discourse. Party elders and more establishment GOP leaders are watching closely. Some are bristling at the tone and potential fallout. A few insiders suggest that such chatter risks becoming a PR nightmare, especially if the headline seize on the most provocative lines. That said, there's also internal debate, messages about GOP outreach, messaging to younger voters, and so on. So there's a lot of, I won't get into all the stuff that was said on this Telegram chat, but it was basically 700 users, including top executives of the various state committees of the Young Republicans. And they were saying very spicy, some would argue racist, some
not
would
safe
argue
for YouTube,
anti-Semitic stuff, that jokes about Hitler, jokes about Jews,
gas
the word
chambers,
nigga, N-I-G-G-A. So
right. Well, there's a difference, right, between the N word ending with an A or ending with an R.
Yeah, because one's more of a rap reference than the other.
Right, and one is an epithet. One is more of like a
homie,
like a hip hop world, like instead of brother.
So here's the thing, right? So predictably, the coverage on this is split along partisan lines. Manila, Democratic aligned media is saying, "Oh my God, young Republicans are a bunch of racist, anti-Semitic fuckheads, and they should all be sent to prison and never allowed to work again, and then kill them all." And the Republicans are saying like, it's just kids, be kids. Kids just be spicy. Like, don't worry about it. Those are just Zoomers being Zoomers. I have my own take on this, which is that those kids did have a reasonable expectation of privacy when they were talking to each other on a Telegram channel. And I think it's a fucking piss of a shame that, like, whether you're like, if you go out on a date with someone and you exchange a few text messages, they could screenshot it and put it all over the internet, and that's considered okay. Or that, like, you can be part of a private Telegram chat and then like blather it all over the internet and blow everyone up. I mean, and I get like, okay, you shouldn't, you could be offended by this. Fine, then be offended. But I mean, there's just there's no respect for privacy anymore. I don't know. I mean, I don't care. I mean, these are young Republicans are probably the last people I'd ever want to be around. So it's not about protecting them or the shitty things that they say. And by the way, it's not exactly a stop the presses moment to find out that Republicans might be racist. But, it's like, really? It's like the coverage is what's so interesting to me, Manila.
Yeah, that who was it? Politico. That Politico article went on and on and on. It droned. I'm sure he does. It droned on and on way too long. And when I read it, it wasn't, because I know the premise is these are like college age boys. The language, the vernacular used in it is not shocking to me. So whoever wrote this article is reaching really hard. Like, is it nice language that these boys, mostly boys, were using? No, of course not. It's spicier than I would have said, but I'm also a girl. Even in my 20s, I wouldn't have spoken like that, right? Like that, I'm also a girl. But if you're like this right-wing Gen Zer who like adores Nick Fuentes, which a lot of these young guys do, this is all the stuff he talks about. But he also recently, Nick Fuentes went on the Dave Smith, the libertarian comedian guy, went on his podcast for hours, and they had like a great conversation about, Nick Fuentes was actually like saying he was disavowing any kind of violence of any sort, and not to, like, he's not trying to promote a race war and this and that and the other thing. That just recently came out, and now this text or chat thread comes out. It's just young dudes talking shit. Should it ruin their lives, when they're 40 years old, applying to, work as a bank vice president or whatever? No. Like what you're saying when you're 22 years old, we just need to get to a new place where, like, Ted, you and I, basically anyone 40 and younger, I just narrowly missed it, but anyone 40 and younger, their youth was more internet based than mine, right? Oh, Ted, you're muted. Ted and I had and Robbie, We were analog youth, right? There's no evidence of the shittiness that we all had when we were 20.
Thank God.
Thank God, of course.
I did
Thank
and
God.
said so much stupid shit when I was in college.
We're
I'm
all
really glad
assholes
that
at
it's
20.
not going to follow me the rest of my life.
Right. We are all assholes when we're 20 or 22 years old. We're assholes. That's
Sure.
your chance to be
And
an
I
asshole.
was really snotty. I mean, much more than I am now, which will shock people.
So here's these young, idiotic college-age boys. And then when you see the pictures of who these people are, oh my. Oh my.
They're such dorks.
They are the biggest dorcases. Like, they're like, they are not. I thought they were going to be more of the Joe Rogan-y type, like MMA type bros. They were not. These were like very fat, overweight. Like, these are boys that couldn't get laid in college, even if they paid a prostitute. The prostitute would come in and be like, no, I don't care how much money. No, not doing it. Like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are those boys. And they're over here dropping the N-word ending with an A because they're trying so hard to be cool.
To be
They
street.
think this is what's cool. But how cool are you when you're 20 years old and like the senior leadership of your Young Republicans club at CUNY?
Right. Well, or just being a young Republican.
Like, how cool are you?
Republicans are not cool, as a rule.
It's just not. Imagine Mitt Romney at 20 to have really cool.
I can imagine.
Cool is not the word. So I don't know. Like, but then again, can you imagine Chuck Schumer at 20? Cool's probably not the word for him either.
No, young Democrats aren't cool either.
No.
A little less uncool than young Republicans back in the day. Now I'm not sure, but like a little. They weren't cool, but they were less uncool. Like the cool kids when I was in school, they were communists, man. Like the Spartacists, those people. They were cool.
I don't know politically in college. I don't know. By the time I was in college,
although the really cool kids weren't
Paul.
involved in politics at all. The really cool kids were like, they were like starting bands and that kind of shit.
California was like this drug party scene within the frats and sororities. So that was like the cool scene, at least in the late 90s and early 2000s when I was in school. I never knew anybody that was in the Young Republicans growing up. But of course I'm in California, Southern California. But nor did I know anybody as like in the Young Democrats club. Like, no, there was none of that. Robbie has thoughts. I'm going to let him pop in because he probably understands. He understands that scene probably more than us. But Robbie, I just see this as like,
I don't know, the young Republicans,
young fat nerds that are trying to be cool and exert their power in some stupid group chat. And it's like I don't know why Politico is making a thing of it. Like, it's not a thing.
Well, it's because they're trying to make political hay. I mean, when y'all interview Thomas and Sam later on this week, y'all want to get a good bird's eye view because we were talking about this. And what they're talking about is that in school, so you got to keep in mind that where I live, it's like 95% white. Look, the demographics here in Northwest Montana is like the United States was back in 1950. Well, Thomas is very unique. He has a unique cadre of friends. So they have a feather Indian from the reservation, a dot Indian who came down from Canada. Then Thomas, he's the token black kid, and then like 6 or 7 other white kids. And they said that they're at high school, racism is the biggest joke ever. Like they just play with it. For them, it is a non-issue. They've taken away all the power because it's one big giant joke. And the way they look at it is that the older generation that has looted their generational wealth and has utterly screwed them just goes apoplectic over anything that has to do with any kind of controversial take or race or like that. So being the Zoomers that they are, they just run with whatever makes them clutch their salts.
Yeah,
and then just run with it. Yeah, it's freaking hilarious. And like his anthropology teacher, he's taken college classes in high school.
Also, like one of the quotes was like, "I love Hitler," and people are like, "Oh my God."
Have you done it?
But also, you do realize that, like, let's be serious here. Like, I was born less than 20 years after Hitler died. Okay,
Sure.
like, these kids were born like, basically nearly a century later. I mean, it's like me getting like, it would have been like me saying something weird about Andrew Johnson or something. It's just sort of like, what?
But
here's what I mean. Like, it's like, that's ancient. A lot of stuff that makes people, my age freak out, or Chuck Schumer's age, he's a lot older than me, freak out even more. They don't realize, like, these kids have a very different cultural context for these comments.
But you got to remember, these kids all have one of these things right here. They've all got a phone, right? Well, what are they seeing on the phone? They're seeing the genocide in Gaza.
Right.
So they're seeing it. And so you have the people who are lecturing them about anti-Semitism. And keep in mind, especially if you are young and if you're conservative, which Zoomers, for the most part, are more conservative than I am, which is, frankly, I love it. And they're being called Nazis. It's like, okay, fine. If you want to call me a Nazi, right, I'm going to make Hitler memes. I'm going to make a joke. I'm going to take away the power of that insult by making you a buffoon, and I'm going to own it. It's like what I do with Putin bot.
It's like how I was always called anti-American by the right, until I published a book called The Anti-American Manifesto.
Yeah, so that's what
you know what? Nobody ever calls me anti-American anymore. It's like they'd just be promoting my book.
Well, that's how you take away the that's how you take away the power of that word. Is that you say, fine, you own it, you take it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm whatever it is. And the question that they have, and keep in mind,
women took bitch, right? And we're like, yes, I'm a boss bitch.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, I mean, these are teenagers. The boomers not only looted our generational wealth from our generation, but they're doubly fucked because they have nothing. And so they look around, and a lot of these kids, they grew up during COVID. So they're involved in the shutdowns. It impacted their schooling. Mm-hmm. And so they're looking around. So these same people who turned off our lives, who told us we can't go out, who are always doing these wars, which, by the way, our generation's the ones having to go out and go fight now. Now they're telling us what we can and can't say. Piss off. So that is what this is.
That's true. This group, this age cohort was in high school during the COVID lockdown. So they are really probably anti-authority. They've turned the other way.
By the way, guess what just arrived?
What just arrived?
Oh, your book of voter again.
Yes, again, because the ranked choice voting system is so simple that you need by the way, Robbie, you'll like this. It's in your favorite language.
Yeah. So what you do is
votante.
So what you do is that you send ICE to the precincts and you start rounding them up.
Well, you're not going to find anyone there because they can't vote if they're illegal, right? So,
well, it's in Spanish, so obviously, if you to be able to vote, you got to be a citizen. To be a citizen, you got to speak English. To be a citizen, you got to pass that English test.
So it's 56 fucking pages. 56 pages.
Wow.
And that's only the English side.
Oh, that's fun. Well, anyway, so that's. So I think, Robbie, you're right. I think you're right. These kids, I think it's a lot of they're trying to again try to tie the DNCers because they don't have a message of their own. They're just trying to turn GOP or Republican or Trumpism, MAGA. They're trying to tie it to Hitler. They're trying to tie it to Nazism. They're trying to tie it to because they don't have a message. They have an anti-message.
So some of the biggest influencers on the right, one of the biggest ones is Myron Gaines. The dude is a black Muslim from immigrant parents.
Myron Gaines?
Myron Gaines. And the dude, I mean,
that doesn't sound very Muslim.
Well, because he has an Americanized name, but that's what he is. I mean, Google him. He's all over X and stuff. He's all over the place. He's on Piers Morgan, and he's just always calling that women should be at home making sandwiches. Which, by the way, I completely agree with. A woman's place is at home having kids, and young people are listening to this. No, it's right because the professional class, they have completely wrecked everything. So maybe the old traditional way is better. And so that's where this backlash is coming from.
So this guy is a young black Muslim conservative?
Yes. Very much
anyway,
so.
I don't know,
And
Robbie. I mean, I don't.
he's more
I
hardcore
don't
than
think there's. I don't see the connection between like downward mobility from generation to generation, which is a thing, and which I've written about a lot and written books about. But I don't see like how that's connected to just being like an asshole on the internet.
Well,
I think people are just talking privately.
I think they're
and
just
they
talking.
think and they think that like it's like Manila and I when we were 20 and you went out with your friends with beers and you're talking shit at a bar and just joking around, but they're just doing it online. I think it's really it's no more complicated than that.
Well, you got to remember also. I mean, most likely these are fat, rich white kids who have never had a real friend in real life. They've never had a callus on their hand. Probably never seen the sun. So that's what they're doing is they're seeing this back. They're seeing this stuff picking up from Twitter and Instagram. Which, by the way, if you want to see a bunch of Hitler memes, go to Instagram. It's all over the place. Go to Red Note. It's all over the place. I mean, the backlash against Israel is so prevalent, especially with young people. It's just like we will take this ideology, this imagery that you people just keep on trying to paste, just try to paint us on. We're going to run with it, man. That's what this is.
The Israelis really think that now that with the ceasefire, that basically now they can start to rebuild their reputation. I don't think so. It's
never going to happen.
I think Israel is fucked now and forever. And I think the next president will not be fully supportive of Israel, may not be supportive of them at all, might even cut off their money.
I mean, let's be honest, this ceasefire is never going to hold. The Israelis are looking for reasons to violate it.
Yeah, didn't they already kill 9 Palestinians like yesterday?
Who the hell knows? I mean, that could be the West Bank. I mean, honestly, who knows? But the point is, it's not going to hold. But here's the thing: like this big old chat with the Republicans, you got to remember these are silver spoon kids who have never lived at all.
Ray in the Rumble chat says Myron's a POS grifter, that there's a lot of people just grifting on the popularity right now of being so-called new MAGA conservative. So
I completely agree. I don't truck with Myron. I think the guy's a complete douchebag who honestly just goes out of his way to disrespect women, which I don't do. But I mean, that's what he's doing. But the point is that that's who young people like to listen to. And that's who I'm willing to bet you these Republicans that they're listening to, probably not Nick Fuentes, but I bet you're listening to Myron Gaines. I bet you a lot of them were listening to maybe some Charlie Kirk, hard to say, Dave Smith, because that's the way that he kind of talks. He's a comedian. He has no problem being edgy. I listen
to Dave Smith regularly.
But I mean,
he's that's a libertarian.
The point. But that's the point that I'm trying to make, though. Honestly, is that the younger generation. If you call people Nazis enough, like, okay, fine. What else have you got?
I mean, Robin, you say that a lot, but does that really happen a lot?
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh, it does.
I mean, I have to admit, I don't. I mean, we don't all see the same internet, right? Like, I don't even know who Nick Fuentes is.
Don't? He's like he's bigger now than he was 5 or 6 years ago when they first banned him.
The dude's
on YouTube.
In my opinion, the dude is complete paid opposition. He's controlled opposition. I have no doubt. He is like, he's supposed to be some white nationalist who's against interracial marriage and talks about the need for people to get married. But this little toothpick bastard, he's not married himself.
Isn't Fuentes a Latino name?
Yeah, who the hell knows?
He's a quarter Mexican.
Okay.
But I mean,
his grandfather was Mexican, and everyone since then is white. So if you look at him, you see a white kid. You see pale skin, dirty blonde hair, and big blue eyes. So
he's one of those types that says, "No, do as I say, not as I do." And he went on the Candace Owens show, and Candace Owens just destroyed him, which is fabulous.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I don't. Yeah, it's not obviously. I'm not in his age demographic. All I know is
you're not missing nothing.
He's gotten huge numbers after Charlie Kirk died, and you and I have talked about this, Robbie. After Kirk died, that guy was the mild, cookie cutter establishment Republican.
Oh yeah, I'm far more radical than he is. I mean, if you want to see a spicy Telegram chat, look at ours.
So then you get like the Nick Fuenteses, and then you get this Myron guy, and then there's everybody else is to the right of Charlie Kirk, And that's, that. So you should use Charlie Kirk as like the mile marker, and everybody else is to the right.
He was the moderate. He was the moderate.
Right.
Well,
and so now
everyone else is far right of that.
Every church. They're going to take down Jesus and put him up instead.
So that's basically, I feel like this is what this chat thread, this leak is basically about, was that it's piggybacking on the recent death of Charlie Kirk. And now they're like, look, because they were calling Charlie Kirk a Nazi, like him, a Nazi. He's like so mild mannered, like the.
Well, again, going back to the Gen Z thing, right? I mean, who is Charlie Kirk's audience? Young people. Yeah. When his Jewish donors were going out calling Charlie Kirk a Nazi for refusing to deplatform Tucker Carlson, giving the guy a voice.
Right.
And you got to keep in mind, Zoomers, they remember. They were in school when the schools were shut down for COVID with the lockdown. They remember what it's like to not having a place to go, not being told you're not allowed to go outside and go play.
Not to see your friends, and
you're locked down. So these same people who locked them down are then trying to say who you can and cannot listen to, who has approved opinions. Well, at the same time, they're using their smartphones, seeing the exact same people who are turning Gaza into a parking lot. No, there's a reason why they're going more radical.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll make that the last word on that. It's just, I think this is a much to do about nothing. And the Democrats, to me, the way I viewed it, like Ted, you gave us your read of it at the top. My read really is that this is just another, Democrat leaning media outlet that's making hay of something where there's nothing to be made, because the DNC,
there's not nothing to be made. It's just, it's just that it's like, I think they're burying the lead. I mean, I think the story is really about violation of privacy. I mean,
I agree.
I mean, honestly, you ought to have the right to get together with your racist friends and make racist jokes. I'm not kidding.
You should.
And without having that end up all over the fucking news. Really.
There is no expectation of privacy on the internet. There is none. I mean, let's just be honest.
On a private chat like that, there should be.
There should be, but
why do what do you think about it?
Edward Snowden showed us the NSA is watching you all the time.
True, but Telegram is where this came from. Is among those, is like Signal and these other things, which I also use.
Encrypted.
Why do people use them? It's encrypted. Why would people be interested in encryption? Because they want their conversations to be private.
Yeah, but it's not private when you have a group chat. It's not private when you have 700 people in your
clearly
thread.
Not. But the point is, I guess my point is, it should not be considered cool to leak these things.
Yeah, no, that part is not cool.
I guarantee you what it is that there's 700 people, and people also think that Republicans, it's a monolith. That's all white people. It's not. There's a lot of Republicans. I'm going to use a term that I absolutely hate. If you ever want to piss Kizzy off, call her a person of color. It sets her off. I'm black. And so it pisses her off to no end. There is a large subsection of minorities. Trump proved this because he won a huge percentage of them.
That's true.
Of conservative Latinos, blacks.
That's all true.
Trump overperformed on the black man vote. So most likely, if I was in some kind of a chat like this, I would assume there's going to be a couple of moles here for the DNC or somebody else.
Oh, for sure.
Or maybe some LGBTQ group that obviously were not like me, and so they're going to
watch what you say online. But it's sad that you have to.
Right. Well, it's sad that you always have to look over your shoulder when you're talking to whoever.
Well, what the real story should be is that no, they found who it is that leaked it, and then that person should be publicly shamed as a pussy. I mean, honestly.
Well, I'm sure it was someone. Oh, by the way, okay. I will bet you guys all the money in the world that like the leaker was a white person.
I guarantee it.
Of course it is.
It's always like the white knight, that's like,
right.
That's racist.
I'm turning on
the people in the chat are laughing, right?
I'm turning on the group now.
Yeah, no, for
I disavow them. I disavow them. Okay, real quick, I want you guys to react to this one for Halloween. Okay, so there's a new cookbook hitting shelves that's equal parts heartwarming as it is haunting. It's called To Die For, a cookbook of gravestone recipes. And yes, the recipes come straight from the tombstones of actual dead people. So author and TikTok creator Rosie Grant never set out to blend the worlds of food and the afterlife, but that changed the day she spotted a gravestone, Ted, out by you, in Brooklyn, carved with a recipe for Spritz cookies. Curiosity got the better of her. She baked the cookies, posted about it online, and suddenly...
Were the cookies good?
Yes, people around the country began sending her more gravestone recipes. The culinary signatures of loved ones memorialized in stone. Her new book gathers just 40 of those recipes, along with photos of the headstones and stories of the families behind them. There are sweets like fudge, sugar cookies, and lemon bars, along with a few savory surprises, all etched into marble and granite as a lasting tribute. Ms. Grant, who runs the social media account Ghostly Archive, traveled across the U.S. to cook these dishes, often with the relatives of the deceased. For many, sharing Grandma's recipe again felt like bringing her back to life, if only for a moment. She says the project isn't about the macabre, it's about memory. Each recipe tells a story about connection, love, and how we choose to be remembered. So whether you see it as an eerie or endearing story to die for, invites readers to think differently about legacy, because sometimes the best way to keep a person alive is to keep baking what they loved most. So that book is out.
I hear that. If I had my mom's cream puffs, holy shit, it would bring her back to life for me. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I think that's...
Or her bûche de Noël, which was amazing.
But I mean, why?
The Christmas Yule log.
If you're this dead old lady, why would you have on your, like your wish list, like, hey, when you bury me, put my famous, stroganoff recipe on my headstone? Like, why wouldn't you leave a cookbook for your kids?
I wonder if there's any other gravestones that just sort of have helpful Heloise type, like household hints, like, if you get a blood stain on your jacket, like hydrogen peroxide will take care of it. Or, like
hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
I have one of the strangest things I've ever seen on a medical chart is this woman, I'm going to assume it was the patient, it could have been the nurse, I don't know, wrote down a recipe for her favorite way of making chicken fried steak in her medical chart. What? On an office note.
What?
I kid you. Yes. Wrote it down in handwriting. Handwritten.
She handwrote
it on the document that she wanted to scan into her medical chart. So listen, stranger things have happened.
Did you eat it? Did you try it?
No, I did not. But it looked good. But no, I mean, people are weird, man. I mean, people are bizarre, and people just do weird stuff.
Well, look, headstones are not cheap. No. I don't know if people have looked into recent, like funeral costs.
They're crazy expensive. Yeah.
Right. And then I think they charge by the letter or by the word or something.
Well,
like
and
what
by
they
do. They do. And by the size of the stone, of course.
So, like, come on. If you're putting, like, Martha's meatloaf on there, like, I just feel like this is an odd, I don't know what kind of wacky, and most of them are ladies, according to the full length of this article, was the vast majority of them were
traditional gender
ladies.
Roles, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is ironic because most of the world's top chefs are men, but
right. True.
Okay, like the vast majority of the Michelin chefs are men.
When it comes to monetizing women's labor, men are good at that.
Yes, but I just this is a weird. I get why it's heartwarming for the families, and this author went around, like documenting these. It's cute, and but what a weird.
Well, this brings up the issue of epitaphs more generally, right? Like so I don't know if I've ever told you the story on the show, but I was bicycling in my old hometown of East Hampton, and there's a lot of cemeteries there because it was settled in 1620. So a lot of people have lived and died. And the main town cemetery has like some nice bike paths in it. So I was biking in between all the gravestones, and I stopped to get some water, and I noticed the gravestone. I have a photo of it. I'll send it to you later. That had and it was like the military style grave with that style, which is tall, thin, rounded on top, and it was for Joseph Heller, who and it had the outline of the cover of his book, Catch 22, on the gravestone. And so he had lived there. He had died in East Hampton. Anyway, the epitaph was, "There's only one catch." Come on, you don't get that?
Ha
Yeah.
It's a great
Well,
epitaph.
see,
My
short and
grandfather-
sweet.
That's like Jack Lemmon in his graveyard in Hollywood. It's
At
like
Hollywood, is it Hollywood Forever?
Yeah, I think he's there, and it says Jack Lemmon in, and it's blank.
My grandfather, is very, as you know, Ted, is very formative in my childhood. You too, Manila. I mean, when on his epitaph on his headstone is pretty neat. My grandmother was appalled, but he insisted that it be on there. It said, "Only the shell remains, the nut is gone." And so,
That's cute.
yeah, and speaking of headstones, y'all know why the graves of Confederate soldiers are pointed like this, don't you? Like
No.
they're triangular. That way, Yankees couldn't sit on them, because what they would do is that they would sit.
Sounds
On,
like you're saying it's hostile street furniture.
it is because what they would do, just I guess as a form of disrespect, they would sit on the gravestones. Well, the Memorial Day started back home in the South. It's called Decoration Day. The first one was in Mississippi in 1866. Well, that's where they started making the headstones pointed, so that way you couldn't sit. That way you couldn't sit on them. It's like it's a headstone. It's not a bench. And so
When Robbie dies, he's going to get barbed wire all
I've
around
never seen
his.
anyone sit on a headstone, but whatever.
Robbie's going to get barbed wire all around his grave site, so the illegals can't walk on his.
What's your?
That's
Do you
great.
guys have a plan for burial? Do you want to be buried? In
No,
a
I want to
box?
be cremated, man. I want to go out, like, shoot me out of a cannon. I don't know, shoot me into space. Maybe
about you,
Elon,
Robbie?
because he'll live
Gravestone?
forever. He'll take me up to Mars with him.
What I told the kids, and it's illegal as hell, but I don't care because I'll be in heaven. It won't matter to me. So whenever I die, it's actually in my will. My son and my adopted son, Sam, he's my white kid who you've just stolen. They have to stand as the Grim Reaper on either side of my coffin and just stand there silent. And then when it comes time to bury me, just take me out to Flathead Lake, just tie a brick to me and just drop me down the bottom of the lake.
That's quite illegal.
I'll be fish food.
Improper disposal of the body.
Yeah, you cannot.
This is Montana, but I mean that's how I want to. That's how I want to go. If
Robbie, that is some shit out of Yellowstone, the TV show where they're at the train station, they're pushing you over the cliff.
Manila, I'm from the old South.
Do that.
Why not? Listen, the government does not have the right to tell my family how you can bury my body. They do not.
Like, if you want to bury your body,
They do not have
like
that right.
If you want
so
to bury
why
your
can the
body like
government-
inside like my local McDonald's, like no.
Well, because that's not that's not my property though.
The government give Osama bin Laden. How come they can give Osama bin Laden a maritime ceremony and
If you
sink
believe
him?
that,
Muslims, if they believe, sure, that's the story. But Muslims believe you need to be just like Jews. You need to be buried like 24 hours, like ASAP.
Yeah,
well,
wrap them up and go.
And in the dirt, they don't do
in the dirt,
aqua
right?
Funeral, yeah.
Well, what they're saying is,
so why can the government dump bodies way out in the middle of the ocean, but why can't Robbie be dumped out into the lake?
Well, that's not his lake.
it's public lands. My taxes go for it. I mean, that's the whole point. And frankly, it's ecologically sound. If you're an environmentalist, I mean, seriously,
I feel like you're being very selfish, Robbie. I feel like you're depriving. What about all the bears who'd love to eat your body?
Well, I mean, that would be okay too. But
my second choice, Ted, is doing one of those like return to earth, like basically like composting. Yeah.
My ex was into that. What is it with you Asian ladies on the tree and the tree?
I'm kind of into that, man. I kind of like, I'm kind of into the idea of being like a cool fucking Bodhi tree or something. I'm kind of into that.
No,
we're Californian Asians. That's just kind of how we do.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Y'all got to remember.
But I'm not putting a recipe on my fucking, like, wherever I end up. You're not putting that plaque on my tree. Like Manila's meatloaf. I make a killer meatloaf, by the way.
Well, y'all got to remember, I grew up on the Gulf Coast, so I grew up by water, and so water for me has always been good. I used to go swim with alligators and stuff when I was a kid. It was fun. Never didn't bother me. I didn't bother them. It was a pre-mutual experience.
So weird.
So that's why I would not mind being dropped in the lake. Now, as far as Kizzy goes, she wants to be cremated.
Me too.
But then we're talking about it, and
I think it's weird when Jewish people want to
Composted.
be cremated, considering the history of all that.
yeah.
Ted.
Well, I'm serious. It's like my Jewish friends who drove like a VW. Like, what are you doing? Why are you driving a VW? That's a Nazi car.
Oh my God. All right. That's my spooky midway to Halloween. We're halfway to 2 weeks away from Halloween, by the way. And I thought that was
Are you doing anything
weird.
for Halloween?
No, I love like all the scary movies that are released. But I've never I was always really into like these scary movies. Like Halloween.
Wait, do you
stuff,
like the
right?
new generation of horror movies? Like, 'cause,
No.
like, yeah.
No, they're just not.
They
They're
don't
not
do it for
good.
you?
Too much CGI. The stories are weak,
Mm.
and
My
they're trying
son's-
to like jump scare you rather than like spook you out with like a good storyline. You know what I mean?
Thomas's Ukrainian girlfriend loves horror movies. Absolutely loves them.
Eastern
this is the
Europeans
first
love horror movies.
This is the first I've ever heard of headstone recipes.
Yeah,
So
I don't
was
understand.
There must be
I don't get
other unorthodox material. I'm going to ask Rock this now, and then we
It's
should
just
go.
I just thought like, okay, we got to tell the world about this not because we're promoting this chick's book. It's just, I've literally never heard of. I mean, I guess people do all kinds of weird things when they die, right? I guess your last wishes
Yeah, sure.
can be anything.
Yeah, it's your farewell.
guess.
It's just no peacing out, calling it a day. You want to do what you got to do.
But like recipe, I don't know, a recipe on your headstone? Like that's, I don't know.
Rodney Dangerfield's epitaph is "There goes the neighborhood."
Aw.
Leslie Nielsen just says "Let her rip."
Yep.
John Barrymore says he neither drank, smoked, nor rode a bicycle. Living frugally and saving his money, he died early, surrounded by greedy relatives. It was a great lesson to me.
I get those. Mine's gonna say it was a
Oh,
hell of a ride.
Lester Moore, who was buried at Boot Hill, he was a gunman. It said, "No less, no more." His name was Lester.
But
Moore.
those aren't recipes. See, I get that. These are not
Mhm.
recipes, and all these ladies.
Mel
like,
Blanc
if one
says
of those
that's all,
ladies is your
folks.
grandma. Well, if that was your grandma that put her recipe on her gravestone, on her headstone, like she was probably an interesting character. So we can probably bet on that. We'll leave it at that, but we have to find a couple more, at least once a week for the next one more, two more before Halloween. You got to help me find creepy stories to share because it's Halloween. I love Halloween. I love scary stories. I love ghost stories because I lived them.
Yeah.
I love stories.
As y'all know, I wholly believe in the supernatural and stuff. That there's a world beyond the one that we live in right now that we can't see.
This is
I
funny.
love that.
John Barnes, who died in 1803, he wrote, "Sacred to the memory of my husband, John Barnes, his comely young widow, aged 23, has many qualifications of a good wife and yearns to be comforted." So basically, it was like a dating ad.
On his headstone?
Yeah, like his widow had it basically like, "I'm
weird.
23, I'm hot, I'd be a great wife.
I'm widowed now.
I'm horny
My
as
dude's
shit.
dead right here in the ground.
Come and tap this ass."
She's a hoe. I hope nobody.
She's dead
took
now. That was 1803. Yeah.
She was a hoe from back in the day.
That's
a
awesome.
no-go.
Manila, you live in Northern Virginia. Have you ever been to Lee and Washington College to see Robert E. Lee's grave?
No. I don't even know where that is.
It's in Lexington, Virginia.
Lexington, no.
What's so weird about Lexington? You make it sound like it's like
far away.
Auschwitz.
like hours away.
Oh.
Manila, you live in Virginia. I'm in Montana. I'm sorry. That means nothing to me. That's a joke, as Ted can attest.
That's true.
That's
Virginia is a big
away.
state by East Coast standards, but it's not by Montana.
No, it's not
standards.
California big, but no. And I'm not like I'm not into like Civil War era stuff like Robbie is.
Actually,
so.
which state is bigger in terms of square mileage? California or Montana?
Pretty sure it's Montana. Isn't Montana the third largest state, or is it the fourth largest state?
Alaska's first, right? Then
Yeah,
Alaska's first.
Alaska's
Texas.
first, then Texas.
California, and then Montana, I think.
Is that right?
I think California has
Could
it
be.
beat by a tiny amount.
Yeah.
But Montana's like almost rectangular. California's just like a long, skinny state. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how all the women want to be shaped, long and skinny. It's,
That's very.
that's it. That's all, folks.
Do they-
Okay, that's it.
I don't know.
That's it for
Some of
Thursday.
them want to be curvy.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Enter
California-
Kim Kardashian. So
Anyway,
So-
straight guys prefer curvy women anyway.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I married a black woman.
you're not going to
And-
find those guys in California, Ted. So-
Well,
I
that
know.
well,
I
well that's
know.
why.
Well, notice I don't live in California.
Well, that's why California is shaped like a dildo, because it screws the entire country.
Hey, my home state is like if it was an independent country, would be. I don't think it's even fifth anymore. I think it's the third or fourth biggest
It
economy
was
in the
fourth
world.
for a long time. Yeah.
I think it's definitely top 5 now. It
Oh,
hung
it would
around
def-
5 for a long time.
I mean, it would definitely
We kinda
be.
need
It would definitely be like your stereotypical third world country where you all have a middle class, you have rich people and poor people, nothing in the middle.
Yes.
So I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So it'd be right
true.
ground for a dictatorship.
But GDP wise, it's a strong GDP if it was its own GDP. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, especially factoring all the meth heads and all the people, fentanyl zombies walking around and
We got the most everything. I get it. We got the most druggies, the most plastic surgery, the biggest booty hose, we got the entertainment. We got all of that back home, and every year I try to go home for a little while, get it all in, get in all the great
Manila,
Mexican
would you wanna
food,
move
get in all
back
the
there?
sun. Not as is.
Are you gonna vote
not
for
as
Gavin
if-
Newsom? When he runs, will you vote for him?
No.
Will you
Didn't vote for
endorse
him
Gavin
before.
Newsom?
No. He is the world's leading consumer of petroleum hair products. I don't condone that.
If he ran against Stephen Miller,
That's fucking Sophie's
Well,
choice,
you could vote.
man.
You could vote third party like me.
Ugh.
Would
Oh,
you vote
I want to
third
talk
party?
about the California. I usually do. I want to talk about the California gubernatorial race and the Katie Porter thing. She's
Oh
so
yeah,
awful.
yeah. We should talk about Katie
She's
Porter.
so awful.
I think I have to admit I'm gonna again be a little different here. I watched
Gross.
those videos several times, like we all did, and
She's so
she didn't
gross.
strike me as. I mean, people are like, "Oh, she was horrible," and I'm like,
She was bitchy.
She wasn't nice, but she wasn't. I don't know. I guess maybe I was married to someone who was really bad, because to me that's like my ex on a good day. Like she was like totally like she was just like, get the fuck out of my shot.
who are y'all talking about?
Katie Porter.
Who's that?
a Congress lady from California that wants to run
No.
for governor. But
Gotcha.
anyway, we'll talk. We should talk about that this week because like the California
I
race.
thought she was a little grumpa, but I didn't think she was.
Oh my God! Wait till the audience.
She's
if the
not a
audience
fucking
hasn't seen it,
beast. I mean, Amy Klobuchar sounds a lot more beastie.
Yeah, okay, I know who that
uh,
is. Amy
I don't
Klobuchar
think
is.
Amy. No, I think Katie Porter. She's like a fucking entitled Orange County white girl.
Do y'all
is
think
how
that?
I
Do y'all think that
read it.
Gretchen Whitmer would run?
Oh yeah, 100%.
she
she's
wants
on.
to for sure.
She's on the short list for sure.
Even with her,
Yeah, they don't have anybody. She's
even with her-
pretty. She's
even with-
young.
she's an evil, psychotic bitch who had the
Sure.
FBI fake a kidnapping plot.
Yeah, they
Sure.
did fucking fake that. Yeah, that's true.
So that's
Yeah,
all she's got going for is that the
Christy Nolan
FBI
pretending
planned to
the
kidnap
cartels
her.
are after her. Christy
Yeah, it's
Nolan's
not gonna-
pretending that the cartels are after her. So what?
Right,
Like-
exactly. No,
So what?
I think the Gretch is.
The Gretch.
Look, I think she's running for vice president, to be honest. She's one of those.
Yeah, we'll talk about California politics. I think that would be really interesting because there's a lot of assholes popping up in California that
we know.
So
as we talked about yesterday.
This is and California is obviously an imperative state, and it really affects the rest of this nation because of how much money and wealth it has, and
it's a pathogen.
It's also very influential. Like, a lot of social and political trends that start in California spread across the country.
California is a pathogen. It's a cancer. It should be cut out of the country.
Look,
I don't know.
There's
I have a lot of
northern versus southern. You gotta be clear here. I hate
So Southern California, man, that's a different animal. Robbie has never been there, so he can't contrast the two.
And the thing is, you can't go by yourself. You have to go with someone like Manila or myself who know our way around. And because if you go to Southern California, like LA, on your own, it kind of sucks. It's an insider city. Right. You have to be shown around. It's not like you can go to a lot of cities and have a great time on your own, but LA is not one of them.
My conservative husband thought the same thing, but then he'd never really been to California, and then we went to California, like, when we first got married. The first time he'd been there, when we first got married, and it completely changed his opinion of what he thought California was.
Well, I went to LA on my own the first time, and I hated it. But then, I went back with people who were in the know.
If I was the president, I would send like 30,000 ICE agents and just march one end of the state down to the other, and just with a massive net.
There's so much to love about SoCal. I'm not very warm on NorCal, and I just it's not my vibe.
Horrible.
Yeah, it's not my vibe. SoCal.
So how are they? So how are they? How are they horrible? I know we're going over. Who cares? I mean, so how are Northern Californians horrible? Explain this to me.
And we got to save this for our California episode. But they're just two totally different. It's
they're smug. They're smug and bragging, and they don't have anything to be smug or bragging.
So, Ted, the Californians that you saw here when you came to visit, were those Southern or Northern Californians?
Probably NorCal.
Those are Northern Californians.
Yeah, those got to be NorCal. If you're telling me they're wearing Patagonia and shit like that, that's NorCal.
Yeah, Southerners don't dress like that.
We don't wear that shit. In SoCal, if you're rich, you're gonna be wearing like Gucci shit in the snow. That's Southern Californians generally don't like snow. Like, they want to be at the beach or in the sand in the desert on like dune buggies and dirt bikes.
That's true.
So SoCal, that's not our vibe. Like, I'm not into the snow. Like, I'd much rather be in the ocean or dirt bike riding. Dirt bike riding is awesome.
That's why you've never come to visit me.
Snow. I hate when it snows here, man. I'd like to go look at it, but anyway, that's why I've told you before, and you didn't believe me. My assessment was the people that are invading Montana are Californians, but they're NorCalis, they're not Southern Californians.
The Californians, deport them all.
No, they have a different philosophy of life. They have a different, their attitude and how they carry themselves. They're fucking smug up north. They're uptight. They're brash and rude.
They're mean. They're mean as shit.
They're like bitter, shitty people. Yeah. People in SoCal, we're kind of like, what's up, dude? Like, hey, man. Like, everyone's just.
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
hey, you want a taco? Like,
although don't disrespect people in Southern California. You might get shot.
That's the other thing is everyone's cool, because if you're not,
there's going to be trouble.
You will get road rage fucking shot on the 405 freeway.
No, yeah, road rage is not a thing in New York. In New York, like, if someone cuts you off or anything, you honk, you give them the finger. But nobody's heart rate has gone up. It's all just like, fuck you.
You don't do that. You don't do that in SoCal. You honk, you finger. Oh my God. You're about to get blasted. Somebody's going to gat your ass on the 110 freeway in Inglewood. Your ass is gatted. And after that, they're going to go get tacos and a cerveza. That's SoCal. That is SoCal. That's the difference. Either we're going to be chill AF or gangster AF.
So then what you're saying is that you got white asshole boomers, or you have Mexicans who will shoot you for flipping them off. That's a hell of a choice. Thanks, Manila.
Kind of. But they're cool. Otherwise, they're like, fuck yeah, taco trucks at every corner. When that dude said that during
And
the
those tacos
20,
are so good.
20
I'm getting
what,
hungry just
2016
thinking
election
about 'em.
cycle, fuck yeah, taco trucks in every corner. I'll vote for taco trucks in every corner. Fuck yeah, I'll take that. Yes.
Yeah, that's not a negative.
Yeah. I don't think that means what it thinks what you think that means.
Yeah.
All right. For real, we'll leave that there because we're super over. But
yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. It's a fun, weird Wednesday. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, guys.
It was a fun show.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Adios, amigos.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.